What is going on? You are listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we're here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. I am your host, Stevie V, alongside partner in crime, Cody Maurice Doggett, with his brand new single, I Don't Want to Fight, out now. How you doing?
Hello, darling. I don't want to fight, darling. I want to love. That's what the song is all about, and that's what I'm here to do.
Well, let's keep the love going because we are getting right into it with our special guest. If you want to bring her up to the stage, we are about to, hello to Cheryl. Let me introduce you. We're really excited to have special guest Cheryl Maida, a matchmaker for the modern man and LGBTQ plus community. You are the director of matchmaking at matchmaking.com. We have so many questions for you. A, how are you doing? Welcome.
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Okay, well, let's just get right into it because so many of us are trying to find love, and I know you are the go-to person at matchmaking.com, but why a matchmaker over, say, at least in our community, we look at all the apps, and most of us on this show, Cody can attest to it, we're unsuccessful finding love half the time with a lot of our listeners. Not you. Why a matchmaker?
Like, wait a minute.
So it all depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a one-night stand, if you're looking for quantity over quality, then yes, go to the apps. If you're looking to finally settle down and you want to find that one person, that's what matchmaking provides. We are able to give you quality. We are able to present gentlemen that have exactly what you're looking for, your values, your lifestyle, and who the majority, probably 99% of them, are all want monogamy. And I have learned that you're not going to find it on the apps. So that's why we have been so successful, because the men that come to us are ready for a real relationship, not one-night stands.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I read something before in an interview you did that you're screening people all the time to see if somebody is really ready for a relationship. So in other words, if somebody, maybe they're a widow, they lost their partner of years and years and years, but it's maybe too soon. They want to get into a new relationship, but maybe it's too soon. Or as we experience on the apps, there is a lot of flaky guys out there. What's the screening process like, and how do you determine if somebody is ready?
That's a great question, because we all have different backgrounds, right? Some of us have been single for years. Sometimes you're in a very long committed relationship or marriage, or as you said, sometimes you're widowed. Usually when I have someone on the phone, I do ask them, where are you in your life? If you were in a 10-year relationship and you broke up a week ago, my advice is, be alone for a little while. Be comfortable to be alone. Actually, go date. Enjoy the apps. Get out there. Usually when people come to us, they have been there and done that already. They are ready to settle down. I have spoken to several widowers, and usually by the time, it takes someone a while for them to pick up the phone and actually reach out. So what I've noticed is that when someone is up to that point, usually they've thought about this for months. They have been a widower or have been alone for a while, and they are really ready to meet that one person. And that's what we find out as I interview them and learn about them and what they're looking for.
Well, that's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you, you really stress knowing what you're looking for when you speak. So how do people know when they what to look for? And it seems like obvious to me, but what are your thoughts on how people know what they're looking for?
Yeah, it's interesting. So sometimes people come in with a checklist. If I tell you a checklist of 20 things they want, they've done their homework, they pull out their phone and they're reading exactly what they want. But I do have men that come in and they're like, Cheryl, I don't know. Whatever I'm doing is not working. So you know what I always ask? It's almost funny. What don't you want? And they're like, oh God, well, I can tell you what I don't want. I go, beautiful. And this is going to help us know exactly what you're looking for. And I will jot down everything they're not looking for. And then all of a sudden we look at each other. He goes, you're right. So I guess that's what I'm looking for. So sometimes people don't know because they feel like they made these mistakes in the past and they don't want to repeat their mistakes. Usually it's not that you're going to repeat the same mistakes. It's going to be a different person. So you have to remember that you have to look at it very differently. So that's usually my way of doing it with everyone, and it works. It has worked.
Nice.
You
So
have
I need
a
to write
great,
down what I'm not looking for.
yeah. You have a great story, and I can relate to it because my sister is a recruiter, a technical recruiter, and we often work together. We'll be in the same room, and I hear a lot of, she's a really good listener, and she's really good at finding those exact candidates for these technical jobs. You are a former recruiter yourself, but it was your father that was this. Tell us that story. Who got you into actually matchmaking, and what did recruiting help you with matchmaking?
Absolutely. So out of college, I was a recruiter for 8 years. I helped people find high-end executive jobs. I did that for 8 years and then I stopped, had my 3 children, and I was very fortunate to be home to raise them. So when they started going to school, I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to give back and I couldn't decide what it is that I could do. Well, give me the flexibility of also taking care of my kids later in the day. So my father, who's unfortunately not here anymore, but we were incredibly close, he called me up and he said, I got it. I have the best job for you. You should become a matchmaker. Now, remember, this was almost 16 years ago. So the apps were just coming out. Matchmakers, they were like unheard of. I got so upset with my father. I said, a matchmaker? Who do you know that's a matchmaker? He said, listen to me. You always loved interviewing people. You loved matching them up with the jobs that you thought that they would be good at. You loved helping people. He's like, Cheryl, think about single people. It will never go out of style. So I told
Next on that one. Good job, Papa.
yeah, exactly. So that's how it all began, and that's how I started. And I started on my own over 15 years ago, and it brought me to where I am today.
Love that.
Bravo.
I love that. And it seems like you have the knack for it because I read somewhere that you've had some one and done matchmaking dates that you've done.
I did.
Yeah, is that true? Okay.
For the best. Yes. I always say I'm not a magician, but sometimes the sun, moon, and
I don't
stars.
know, girl.
Yes, it's very interesting. I had a gentleman today, this wonderful man, and as we were doing the interview, the Zoom interview, we're doing everything. I'm asking my questions, and as he's answering, I'm like, oh my God. And he started cracking up. I'm like, you are answering exactly like my client. And I went like this, like over here. And I'm watching. Oh, he was, by the end of the interview, he's like, I am so excited. I'm like, you don't understand. You will have a date in 2 days because you guys are perfect for each other.
Wow.
And that happens sometimes.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's witchcraft. I need to know how you do
I
it.
want to
need
move.
that talent.
I want to move. We'll go back to what you do, but I want to move if you instruct people, because a lot of people, if they've been widowed, they haven't gone on a date in a long time. Cody and I have gone on dates several times with people, and we've gone on good dates, but bad dates. What makes for a good date and what's a bad date? So at least listeners can get tips and tricks on this.
Yeah. So I always want to preface with there's no such thing as a perfect date. And you have to remember that, okay? There's no such thing. You're going to always leave a date probably saying the things you loved and maybe the things you didn't like. So for me, I always say this is the best advice. When you go on the date, be the date that you want to have. Be a good listener. Ask questions. Don't make it like an interview. Ask questions because you really want to get to know someone. And I always say be a better listener than talker, because nobody has ever given me feedback and said, well, I didn't like him. He just listened too much, ever, right?
It's the other way around. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's true.
Exactly. Yeah. Great eye contact. And if you leave a date saying to yourself, my God, wait, we were here for 2 hours? I can't believe that was 2 hours. Or wait, there's so much more I want to know about that guy. That's a good date. And you don't necessarily, the first time, have to be 100% sexually or physically attracted. I always want everyone to understand that, because so many times we have different attractions we don't even realize. Maybe we're attracted intellectually. Sometimes you have all these different types of attractions that go on, and it doesn't necessarily have to be physical or sexual first. So I always have this 2-date rule, that if you leave a date and you don't have a bad time, and even if you're like, you know what, I'm not so sure, go out on that second date. I can't begin to tell you how many people are together for years now because I pushed them to go on that second date. Yes.
Oh,
You also
wow.
said,
That
which,
is so thought-provoking.
yeah, you said something in one of your interviews that you can always get something out of it, even if you're not feeling it in that date. And it reminds me when I went on a speed dating of several years ago, didn't meet the man of my dreams. However, I met a friend that Cody and I are now still friends with all these years later, and he's one of our dearest friends. And so I did get something out of it in the end, which was really nice.
Yeah, and you know what? Whether it's a friendship, I had people that are traveling. A gay couple I set up didn't hit it off romantically because they don't have someone. They are traveling together. I have people that do business together. And you want to hear the best part? I've had people meet, come back and tell me feedback and say to me, Cheryl, he was so wonderful. He's not for me, but you don't understand. I have someone amazing for him. And come back and meet somebody. Swear to God that it's happened many times, actually.
That's
so you
amazing.
never know. Right. You always get something. You can always bring something positive from meeting someone. That's my opinion. You always can.
That's beautiful. I love that. But you did mention sexual chemistry. So I want to know how important you think that is in a match, because I do hear that you asked your gay clients if they are a top or a bottom. So speak on it.
Right. So no, and I love this. This is great. So sexual chemistry. Okay. We all want, right, after the first date, the butterflies, oh my God, I can't wait to kiss him, right? We all want that. But sometimes on a first date, people are nervous, right? People, they aren't themselves. So do I think sexual attraction is important? Listen, if you have it on the first date, wonderful. It doesn't mean that's going to be your lifelong partner. The second date, because I always think that fades. What really stays is values, the friendship you build, the companionship, the trust. So in my opinion, that's so important. And to get back, yes, I do ask about top or bottom, because I found, and it took me a little while. And I remember when it was one of my newer gay clients years ago had said to me, you didn't ask me a very important question. And I'm going through my thing. I'm like, what was that? And this was years ago, obviously. He's like, you didn't ask me if I was the pitcher or catcher. And I said, you're right, because I wasn't sure where to go. Well, I became so comfortable with that because I realized how important that is. And when I ask it, the first things one of my clients will say to me, I'm so glad you're bringing this up, because I want them to feel comfortable. And at the end of the day, that does make a big difference. It usually can make or break people meeting.
Wow.
I love that.
So interesting.
Yeah, I don't know in heterosexual land, but with a lot of gay men, age range usually isn't a problem. Where somebody is with their career or how much they make. I know with my female friends, sometimes that can be a big deal. It still can be with our community as well. How much emphasis do you put on that? Or do you simply go by, you ask them these questions, and does that ever become an issue with gay men on age or how much you make?
No, that's a great question. So I have found that when I compare my straight clients to my gay clients, the gay clients have such a huge age range. Usually it could be anywhere between 15 and 20, sometimes 25 years. They could go younger, they could go older. So a lot of times that's very easy for me. The only time I would say profession comes into play, depending on what someone's profession is. But what I always say is my specialty or my niche are professionals. So I always want everyone to know everyone can financially take care of themselves. I am not looking to sign someone up to be someone's sugar daddy or to look for a sugar daddy. And that's whether you're gay or straight. So I very much emphasize that. But I would say at the end of the day, the most important thing I have found is that men are looking for monogamy. My gay clients are like, Cheryl, that is by far the most important thing, that if you can find me a man like that who fits a few of my criteria, hey, I can't wait to meet him.
Wow.
Love that.
Yeah, that's really cool because we find that a lot of we are a sex podcasts. We find that a lot of the questions about this are about open relationships. So this is very refreshing that monogamy comes up so much. So it's like a balancing act. I feel like, oh, some people want it, some people don't want it. So that's cool. But I understand that you hold events for your clients as well. What does that look like?
So we have done them in the past. We are restarting them up again. And basically
Okay.
what they are, they're mixers. They're for clients or members to come and for courts to physically meet one another. And remember, everyone has been screened, vetted, and interviewed. And that's one of the wonderful things. You could feel safe, you could rest assured that when you meet someone from us, that's who they are, that's their age, that's their profession, because you don't, like, as I said, on the apps, you never know who you're meeting, right? No one is doing
Yeah.
that screening process. So that's a big positive when it comes to a matchmaker for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll tell you my age. Okay, never mind.
Okay, well, we all know. So you're the director of matchmaking at matchmaking.com. We all know that it's probably not an inexpensive thing. You have to be a professional, like you said, but there's 3 different tiers that you can go under. Briefly tell us about what the procedure is over at matchmaking.com and how it works if you were to, meet up with you in particular and finding love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have 2 options. You may become a client, which is the paying gentleman, or a member. So if you are a client, you have 3 options. The options start at $5,000, go up to $15,000, and that all depends on how many dates you're guaranteed and for what time frame. Or if you want to get your feet wet, you want to just get out there, but you're not interested in becoming a client just yet, you may become a member. That is 100% free. You fill out a profile. So therefore, we have a guarantee for the clients. We work for the clients, we recruit for the clients, and market for the clients. The members don't have any guarantee. We could call you in a week, we might call you in 6 months or a year, but at least you have that opportunity to meet a wonderful vetted client of ours.
Wow, I love that. So there's
Yeah, it's
opportunities for all. Yes, I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have a
Nice.
great group. You have no idea. Every morning I come in, there are new men that have signed up. Oh, it makes my day. We are
Oh,
so
love
busy.
that.
It's great.
And do you have to be in the Miami area, the Florida area, in order to be matched?
You can be anywhere. So, of course, because I started here, yes, a lot of our clientele and members are over here in Florida, but we actually now have various clients throughout. We have some in New York, we have a few other states, and we are growing all over the place. So, no, you do not need to primarily
Okay.
here. Yeah.
I love that.
Love it. Well, one of the issues that often happens in dating that we are often giving advice on is the follow-up, ghosting. Do you hold your clients accountable, or even, I guess, a member too? Because let's just say a member decided to go out with one of your clients, and what's that follow-up procedure? Are you involved? Or do you hold your clients and members up to a certain protocol so there is no things like ghosting that we have to deal with on Grindr and all those other apps?
Right. So that is probably the most valuable thing we do is the follow-up, and we give the feedback after every first date. So 2 people go out on a date Saturday night. Sunday, I'm calling both parties. I want to hear what you thought. What did you like? Is there any constructive criticism? Would you like to go out again? And then I share the feedback. So I will tell you 100 out of 100 times, there will be no ghosting because we follow up. And as I said, a lot of coaching goes on too. So sometimes I have spoken to clients where they're a little hesitant, they're not sure. And as I said, my little 2-date rule, and they have gone out. I had people, as I said, together for years because of the feedback, and we were able to help them, push them in the right direction, and now they're together. And a lot of people have said that if I was on an app, I would have, I'm waiting for the guy to call, he's waiting for me to call, nobody's calling, and then they're like, forget it, I'm on to the next. But that won't happen with us.
You know what's really good, and you mentioned it, you said feedback, and it reminds me of recruiting where you often get that feedback as well. You don't ever get that feedback pretty much when you went on a date with somebody, and whether you want it or not, you don't get it. And constructive criticism can be so helpful and beneficial to not making those same mistakes, and I just think that's real. I mean, that's why you're doing this. That's so wonderful.
Yes, and I think the feedback is so wonderful because even if the date doesn't lead to a second date, if I'm able to give you any little tips, any little pointers, so for the next date you're more successful. Like I always say, my clients and I, we are a team, and I'm here with them to really, the end result is for them to find someone through us. I always say I never want someone to resign because they won't have to, and that's what I always hope to happen with everyone.
Oh, I love that. Well, since we're on the topic of tips, do you have any tips for the boys out there that are dating right now?
I want people to be encouraged that there are so many more men out there that are looking for monogamy and real relationships. And I hear this all the time that there's no one left. I'm busy. So there are men left. And if they are interested, to go to www.matchmaking.com, please fill out a profile. You will speak to someone in our company. We will be able to explain everything, answer anything. And I always want to give people hope because I am such a big believer. There is a lid for every pot. There really is.
I love that. Thank you.
Cheryl, thank you so much. Can people follow you as well, or should they just go to matchmaking.com?
They could go to both. Absolutely. My name is Cheryl Maida, and as I said, our company is www.matchmaking.com.
Thank you so much. This has been so helpful.
It was so
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
You as well.
Take
care.
Night.
Good night. I love it. So good, right?
So yes.
And what I also love is that, if you have that extra money and you can do that, and you're not having any luck, fill out, become a client. Try it out. And I saw there's different tiers. But if not, just become a member. I mean, what do you have to lose, right?
Yeah,
Get in that database. That's a database of men
you
that
have
are
to tell me
looking for
once.
love. I
might talk to her about amending my age on there, but we'll see. We'll see what she says.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well, we love it.
I can get a new birth certificate. Yes.
All right. Well, before we get into hot topics, we want to talk about our next we're a sexuality podcast, and recently a topic did really well for us when we gave tips and tricks on how to host your own baiter party or bait party. A lot of people were really into that. Well, now we're following up with when somebody inquired, how do you host an orgy? Okay, we're going from love, we're switching gears, but we do it all on the show.
We're just talking about getting married.
I mean, we're sex and relationships. I'm getting married this year, and yeah.
We got the relationship in, now it's time for the sex.
When one person wrote, how do you host an orgy? And this is what they wrote. So I want to host how people host orgies at their home. I mean, how do you add people in via Grindr? I'm scared that I hope my other gay friends don't find out. Basically, they want to know some of those do's and don'ts. And when we were talking about it in our meeting, and we're going to come up with our do's and don'ts from our experience. I've hosted sort of a party related to it. Cody's been going to some of these. But the one thing that we wanted to address first was that he mentioned he doesn't want his friends to know. And I would say at first, don't worry about straight friends, but if you're worried about your gay friends finding out, are you really ready to throw one of these parties? Because chances are they won't care, I think. I mean, break down that first part. Yeah.
That's wild to me. I don't understand how he can be. Well, I can't understand how, but I feel like if you are of a certain age, like we are, and anybody who is throwing an orgy party should be I feel like would be of a certain age. So start to understand that a lot of people have a lot of experiences with sex. And so this should be not run of the mill, but it shouldn't be something that your friends, people that you call your friends, will blink twice about. They would probably be more interested in what's going on with you than anything else and how the orgy experience was. And they'd be asking you for tips and tricks after this is all said and done. So just really put that in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you're so concerned, maybe you're in a small community, then, maybe don't throw the party if it's going to get out there and you're that scared of it. But also, we're going to give some tips and tricks on successful parties. And one of the ones that he mentioned that he provides, and I think it's probably a good one, is providing condoms. A lot of us are on PrEP, and it's a non-issue. A lot of us take DoxyPep. but not everybody does. I think,
True.
and with insurance rates potentially getting rid of some of these things, I think it's really easy to go to your local LGBTQ center where they often give them to you free and put out a bowl of them. Say that
Yeah.
on your flyer as well that you are providing those. But the one thing he didn't mention that you and I discussed is provide lube. So,
Lube for sure.
you can get those big tubs of it, and which leads me to my other tip is start small. There's no reason why you have to have 50, 60 people at your orgy. An orgy is really anything over basically three people.
Yeah.
And so I would say if you're worried about your friends finding out, start small and have lube on hand and mention that you have lube on hand. I know people are getting creative carrying their own lube when they go to some of these parties, but if the party gets bigger and you have multiple rooms or a couple of rooms, maybe just provide a couple of tubes of it, but don't feel like you have to provide all of that too. Also, on the lube, are we talking silicone, which is usually the most recommended one, or water-based? I prefer silicone, but then you better
put down some bad sheets. Don't put your good stuff down.
Right, exactly. Don't ruin the furniture, girl, is the other tip. Those are my first ones on what you provide.
Yes.
What else do you have on tips on having a really successful orgy?
Well, let's go back a step, because setting the orgy up, I think that's a very important component.
Yeah.
Advertising, Sniffies has a whole section where there are events that are going on, and
that's actually really cool, huh?
It's so area. Cool. It provided me with a bunch of fun. So
like a marketplace.
It's a meat market for sure. Yeah, I would recommend setting it up there. You already have like a pool of people that you can pull from that will be interested, that are in your area, and hopefully you can hide it from your friends. I don't know if they're on Sniffies. If they're on Sniffies, then they're okay about orgies. So let's just put that out there. So yeah, I say go and use that. That's personally what I would use. And from there, I would say curate who you would like to be at the orgy, because it's honestly, you're throwing an orgy.
All right, let's get to that step. But I want to add one more. Let's back up with one more thing to add as we are live. Doug watching us live. In addition to what we already mentioned, condoms and lube, Doug mentions plenty of clean towels as well. And don't use the ones that you got at the wedding or the ones that are prized joy that your mom gave
giving out towels at your wedding.
And you can get some, like a bundle of them. I think if you go to Home Depot or you go to places like Costco or Amazon, you could just get a bunch of those and just have those ready to go. Throw them in the wash when you're done, but you need to have those. I think those are the three critical things to provide. And
to provide, yes, but I think it's very important to set up the ambiance of the room. I think that lighting is very important.
Let's not have bad Costco lighting. Well, you get the towels at Costco. You don't want the Costco lighting for your
and
orgy.
You get the lube at Costco too. Get the big tub of lube that they sell.
I wish, yeah. And you're right about atmosphere, because set the stage, have some interesting. There's all kinds of free mixes you can get now on SoundCloud that you can just put in dark and sexy, and you'll find all these really good mixes that you can be playing. Also, I'm looking to my left right now because I've got one of those LED lights that's red, and I've got a stripper light that turns red. You don't have to go all out like that, but by all means, keep the light dim and moody with some music going on to create the mood. But now let's get into who is coming to this party.
That's a game, right? Who's coming to this party? I think the Sniffies app, if you start there, I feel like you can curate who you want to have at the party, who you're attracted to, whether there's top or bottom, then that's a whole nother component. Are you doing a gangbang, or are you doing an orgy where people mix? I've been to both, and the two are very different vibes. So
Or
I
is it a bukkake party where you're
hello.
simply going to have people in a circle and there's going to be one person taking all of the loads? You can get really creative. Or in our meeting, I have always been into like toys, and I would set up, I have a really cool sling, a leather sling. I would set that up,
Ooh.
and I've got paddles that I could put around the place. I might do a more BDSM, but I would put that probably in my headliner, that's the type of party I want to throw. While other things can happen, I would want to make that known that there is a sling, there is a few toys around that can be utilized and played with.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea, because the more that people know what your party is about, the more that you will attract the type of people that you want to be at the party. So if you want a certain body type, or you want all body types, make sure you put that in there. If you are having a BDSM type party, make sure you put that in there. Just advertise what you're looking for and what this party is all about. Basically, if you build it, they will come. CUM. I
love that. Yeah. And I love that you mentioned, because we talk a lot about inclusivity, and you can certainly do all types, all ages, all ranges. If you are looking for a specific group, then put that in there and don't be afraid to mix that up. I think we were giving advice to the beta party too. You can do themed parties. It could be bear party one night, and it could be all inclusive another night, and it could be a certain body type another. If you want, it's your party, so you can really do whatever you want. Last tip I will give, if you have one, you can also give one. But my last tip is basically keep it small. If you're new to this, start small, have a certain amount and cut it off if there's a way to cut it off, and be aware of times too. Put that in the headline of what time, because you may or may not want this to go on all night long. Or you're already in bed and they're ringing your doorman or your front bell, and you've already had your fun. So be specific on what and times that you want this to occur. And if there's no in and out policies, then state that. Just be specific.
Oh, there's always an in and out policy, honey. Okay.
There's always an in and out policy. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, it's time to get in. Yeah. Was there something
we should be orgy planners. I feel like there's wedding planners. Why can't there be orgy planners too? We can keep it sexy. We should We should start that up.
On the side? Absolutely.
Come on. Hello. Call us the orgy planners, honey.
Well, let's get into hot topics that are affecting our community, and there is a lot, and we are going to get through all these before we give some advice. And don't forget about Thirst Trap. We got a lot to cover. Let's get right into it. When a male model was arrested after his husband was found dead in Harlem. This just happened. It's so scary. When Donald Hood was arrested after his husband, Jacob Zieben-Hood, was found dead under disturbing circumstances in Harlem. Jacob was 34. I'm not sure how old the other one was, but not much different. But this all occurred on the morning of August 1st when Jacob was slumped over a toilet with multiple stab wounds across his body. He had also suffered a gash to his head and deep wounds to the back of his legs, one of which was severe enough to penetrate muscle tissues. And they were both, like I said, one was a model, and the other one, Jacob, was a fitness instructor and influencer, basically. Donald was 40, by the way. And that is just crazy. Here's the crazy part about the whole thing is that Donald, when the police arrived, because he called and reported that my husband is lying there and you need to come now. And when they came there, they found under Donald's record that he had a distancing order. What do you call that? Where you can't...
Restraining order.
Your restraining order. Jacob had filed a restraining order against Donald, his husband, because they had a history of abuse from Donald's side, and they weren't living together at this point. So basically, they knew there was something, potentially a homicide, and that's what it's looking like, because there is no reason that Donald should have been there in the first place to even find Jacob, since he should have never been there when there was a restraining order. So that didn't add up. But when Jacob's father, sadly, Jacob called his dad like a few hours right before the murder happened. He could hear in the background Donald shouting really awful things to Jacob, and it wasn't sounding good at all. And lo and behold, this is what happened. And it's just really sad when you think about the whole thing. Domestic abuse is real, often within our community. But I think what really struck me about this whole story is just as early as June, there were calls for that Jacob filed that restraining order, but that the fact that he did do his due diligence and he did file that restraining order and he thought he was safe in his own apartment for the time being, and yet it still didn't work. The other one broke in, and that's what's so disturbing and so lascivious, and it's just tragic.
Yeah, this is a really horrible story, and just you just never know what to do or say in these types of situations. And I feel like he did all the right steps, so the outcome should have been much better than this. So I don't know what to say. Just if you are experiencing domestic violence, please take it seriously. Please do all the things that he did in order to keep yourself safe. That's the best way for you to be safe, is in order to report these things, because I know that it's difficult to deal with. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about domestic violence the other day. We were giving advice, I believe last Wednesday, and in our show notes, I put a 1-800 number there that if you are at all experiencing that, we will put it again in this episode and show notes as well, because this is something that we often don't think about within our own community as well, but can definitely occur, obviously. And when it does, this is how it can look. You take those steps. It sounded like they had somewhat of a volatile history, at least on Donald's end, for the last 6 months, and it was just getting worse and worse. Like I said, as of June, and sadly, we lost Jacob, and our hearts and prayers go out to his family and friends who are devastated, as we can imagine, and mourning the loss of this. And it is all alleged, but we will continue to follow up on this, because Donald will have his day in court. He is behind bars right now, thank goodness. We'll continue to follow up on this, but we will list that number as well, because it's very important. If you or somebody you know is even having mild instances of this, to seek the help early on. And that's, we want to stand by that.
Definitely.
All right. Moving on to, gay bars, gay clubs we're losing them, Cody. And there's 2 stories, one in LA and one in Berlin, 2 meccas what is going on. And Precinct in DTLA, or downtown LA, as they like to call it, DTLA, is potentially, the owners said, after a couple weeks of not great sales, it's summertime, they are in serious danger of potentially having to close their doors. But they're also embroiled in a lawsuit by a disgruntled former employee who was heterosexual, a female. And she claims that during their underwear jockstrap night, that they put her in the coat check and didn't pay her the right amount that her counterparts were paid, and that she was apparently complaining that she saw sex happening. It's a jockstrap party. It's going to happen. And she complained on that, and the owners never listened to her. And she had been a longtime employee, and she claims that they replaced her with a gay guy. And the lawyer that she's hired is essentially somebody that has a past of using homophobic remarks in many of his emails. So he might be one of those powerhouse LA lawyers that could tear this entire Precinct bar down. But beyond all of the controversy, whether you believe that or not, because that still has to be litigated, I have been there, and Precinct is a really cool spot, and I love it. And it's got different areas to it. It's got a red light area, really cool. They actually somebody told them, they encouraged their audience to come support us, because we have about up until October to see how we're going to do. And please come and support the business. Well, one patron said, why don't you put up a crowdfunding to, like, in the meantime? You know that they raised up to $50,000 as of last
Wow.
checked, which is really good. That
Go gay
shows the love
community.
for prison. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I really hope, I sent it to a friend of mine because he's the one that brought me to Precinct before, and I really love it. And I hope it. On the other hand, there is a club that is decades old, 50-year-old dance club in Germany called SchwuZ. SchwuZ. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but it's Berlin's club scene. It's the oldest and biggest gay dance club that is declaring bankruptcy if it doesn't make it. They also, if they don't get, it's been around since 1977.
Oh, wow.
And
oh my God, that's before I was born.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really, right? Yeah, I was around. I was 6. But here's the deal with that one, and then we'll discuss, because I want to hear from you on this. On this one, they've been around since 1977, as mentioned. However, they did, in the last year or so, move to a larger location. And some have speculated that when they moved to that larger, they couldn't sustain it. And I don't know why they moved from their former location. That wasn't stated, but they moved to a larger one. And others have complained that they're charging exorbitant fees to get in, that people don't want to pay right now. Some are blaming the fact that Berlin's nightclub scene, I didn't say this, is on the decline in some ways. And others say that they have really bad music. I don't know what the story is, but when they tried to, Cody, have a GoFundMe crowdsourcing fund, they only got 2,000 to 3,000 euros of 100,000 goal. So they're not seeing the love that LA is seeing with Precinct.
I mean,
so,
with the reviews.
Yeah. I mean, I know. What do you say about these clubs that are facing, closure?
Well, it's sad when any gay club or what any of our safe spaces gets closed. So I think that it's something that we as a community have to address, just like they did in LA, as far as Precinct raising the funds to make sure their doors are still open. I'm glad that happened with that community. I mean, I kind of understand why it didn't happen in Germany, because there's so many complaints already. I feel like the rents are getting higher and higher, and people are...
You can't afford to have complaints like that. Somebody actually wrote bad old playlists that they always play. And I was like, oh God.
It's so rude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here trying not to laugh, Steve.
I know. It's tough. It's tough out there.
It's tough out here. You're right. You're right. I just think about all the clubs that are here that I know I would miss if they close. So it's probably someone's favorite club, and they should just update the playlist.
Listen, in the Precinct, there is that controversy, but I don't feel that has a lot of merit. We'll see how that goes. I hope it's, we'll see how that controversy goes on that. But Precinct is really establishing downtown LA, and there's a lot of good happening in downtown LA that they need that, and it is a really fun space. Berlin, you've been around for 50 years. Maybe it's time to shut the doors and just call it even. I mean, that's a good run for a club.
50, like literally. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and
that's why I said the longer than I'm alive comment.
So,
because she ain't 20.
Right. So in one, I say, I hope it succeeds. And the other one, maybe it's just time to pack it in. But 50 years is Studio 54 didn't even last
exactly
a minuscule fraction of that time. None of the clubs in New York have lasted that long. So I just think, wow, yeah, that's really good. Okay, well, we gotta talk about, do you have one that we want to go to, love, before we get to advice?
Let's do all of the loves. Let's do all the loves. Yes.
We're moving on to love. We're back to love. And there are 3 stories that we wanted to really talk about. And we're talking about a couple that has gone official. I'm talking about gay fitness author Jorge Cruise, who hard launched his relationship with a much younger boyfriend, and he said he trusted his heart. Jorge Cruise is my age, 54. He's a New York Times bestselling author and podcaster. He's written several books, the Belly Fat Cure Diet, the 3-Hour Diet, Minutes in the Morning, and so forth. He is just announced, he's came out later in life at 39. He was married to a woman. He has 2 kids that are in their like 18, 19. He was married again to a man that only lasted about 3 years. And now he says he's so happy that he's met the love of his life, and this one should last, according to him. It's never too late for love, he says. And how many years apart are they with this
30.
partner?
30
years.
Yes. Also younger than me.
I guess the question is, we hope it works out, but with Jorge's track history and the fact that his kids are almost the same age as his new partner, how do we feel about this?
I guess he wanted a third child. I don't understand what this is. I was looking at the pictures. I was like, who is this a
we'll
father
post
and
it on
son?
Tags Podcast on our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/Tags Podcast where you'll see that.
Doug says the boyfriend is cute and quite twinky. They're both cute. They're both very attractive men. And
well, Doug's right. The boyfriend is twinky and cute.
Yeah, they're both cute.
Jorge is not
he's
cute.
A handsome man.
He's a handsome man. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both good looking. But the thing is, I don't understand. Like, I'm happy for them. I could never, especially, okay, so let me tell you a little story. I said we're going to make this quick, but this story is just out there. My mom dated a guy that was like 2 days older than me. It was the craziest thing that I ever experienced. It's one of the craziest things that I ever experienced in my life. And I felt some kind of way. His kids must be going through it. I don't understand how he can date somebody. I just don't get it.
It's like you want to be happy for people, especially when it comes to love, and you don't want to be the one that's like poo-pooing on their love. But all I can think about is like Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, where I get cringy every time I see them, and it's like I'm not happy. I mean, whatever. Everybody gets to love who they get to love, but
Amen.
But
I'm happy for them, but I don't. It just oh my god, it just makes me a little uncomfortable. That's what it is. It makes me uncomfortable.
Okay, moving on to somebody that just proposed. Olympic star Paul Poirier, I think I said that, Poirier gets engaged to his longtime partner, Kevin. And it's official, Team Poirier just added a new member, Olympic ice dancer and 4-time world champion Paul Poirier, I'm sure I'm just butchering it and I'm saying it over and over, has announced his engagement to his longtime boyfriend, Kevin. And people were really excited. I think what was really cool about this one is they really wanted to do it subtly. They just did a simple, sweet announcement on their Instagram with their arms around each other, and they were in tank tops, one wearing a t-shirt, Kevin's arms wrapped around Paul, both flashing the glint of their engagement rings. And that was really it. It was low-key proposal. I really liked that. I think I liked this one because, Paul's very out there in the sports world and in our community. I didn't have a really big engagement thing, and I didn't post all over the planet that I was engaged. And I think that I liked that. No problems for people that want to do a huge hoopla, but do you want a big engagement or do you like this?
Everybody needs to know, honey.
Okay. Oh, they're going to be fireworks. And...
I love this for them. I think this is beautiful. I think they're beautiful. I think love is beautiful. And I think that this is the way they wanted to do it, so it make them happy. But for me, it's going to be in the newspaper. I'm going to be like Carrie Bradshaw in this one.
Well, listen, I say that as I'm looking at my fiance right now to the left of me, and we are going to be doing a fun marriage that we will be posting, and we've got some surprises on that day. A lot of them, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So maybe the engagement was subtle or almost non-existent, but the wedding will be somewhat spectacular. Yeah. And lastly, in love, we had to shout out to Spain's only out gay footballer, Alberto Lejarraga, celebrated his marriage to his husband. And this was really beautiful. Ruben Fernandez. And they made history really in the sports world. But I will post pictures of it. The wedding just looked spectacular. They had these really great suits on that complemented each other. They had a lot of female bridesmaids in red. They were in a charcoal gray. There's a whole photo log of them in their wedding, and they did a dance and everything. And actually, it was really beautiful. Did you see the pictures, and what did you think?
I just saw. I think they're so gorgeous. Yeah. Honestly, I have a fantasy of getting married in a color that's similar to this. So thanks, guys, for stealing my idea.
All of these love relationship couples will be posted on our Patreon page. Simply go to patreon.com/tags podcast. Grab a free account where we post behind the scenes coverage. Or if you're feeling generous, grab a tier where you get things like commercial free, or you'll get things like our bonus episode that we produce once a month. Topics you will only hear on our Tags Patreon community. Moving on, we love giving advice on this show, and today is no different. This one comes from Reddit when they asked the question, I'm back on the market and I'm confused. I'm 34, recently broke up with my boyfriend, 35 of 10 years. It was my decision, and I've been thinking about it since we decided to go to couples therapy a year ago. But I'm posting here not to talk about the breakup, but to ask about your experience. They want to know about our experience about LTR, long-term relationships. I feel like I'm in my slut era. Immediately after breaking up, I set up Grindr and Scruff and started hooking up with other guys. Blowjobs in the park, on and on. I plan to get prepped to the point. It's been 2 weeks now, and I think my slut era is almost over. I'm thinking about looking for something long-term again. Not that I want or need something serious right away, but dating someone with the same goal would make me feel more secure. And I still want to become fully independent or learn how to be my own person. The problem is I'm not convinced open relationship is for me. Okay, we just talked to Cheryl a few minutes ago, and she said the majority of her clients want monogamous relationships. Yeah. So here's the question. I feel like this is the norm now. I'm not familiar with the lingo. Side was new for me, and I feel awkward dating because I'm either this strange guy with a body count lower than my age suggests, or a slut for those. I'm not like all the other boys. I'm on Grindr because I want to get married. I'm either a romantic or someone severely damaged, because when I was getting that blowjob in the park, I was fantasizing about dating that guy long term. Oh, wow. What advice would you give to this person? They asked, should I still have fun and be vulnerable, or should I grow up and toughen up? Aw, I think they should call Cheryl and put themselves in the mix, because they want love and they want a relationship.
You don't think it's too soon for them to be? I think it's too soon. 2 weeks of a slut phase?
Okay. Well, yeah.
After 10
Cheryl
years?
would say, take some time. Yeah.
That's what Cheryl would say. That's what Cheryl
eventually,
did say.
Okay, so eventually my advice would be call Cheryl and get in that database or become a client. But for now, just enjoy this slut era and keep it simple, because we got to keep it moving. Kobe,
okay, yes. So, girl, just lean into your slut phase. You were with somebody for a prolonged period of time. You were probably not having good sex near the end of that relationship because you were saying you were trying to get out of it. So use this time to recommune with yourself, learn yourself a little bit more. And then I think that exactly, if you get comfortable with yourself, then you can go out and call Cheryl, because monogamy is not dead, according to her. So thank you, girl.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think that's really great advice, and I love that for them. But yeah, it can get tricky, right? And I love that he was in the park getting a blowjob, but thinking like, could this be the one?
Mom.
That he needs maybe some therapy too. Like maybe get some therapy.
Wait, because
Because
first of
if
all,
you're in
we're wearing our
the
tag
park
shirts,
and
by the
thinking,
way.
is this the one? And I watch a lot of those, and all I'm thinking about, ugh, what am I getting? Are there ticks? Here in New York, we got to worry about ticks. And do I need
You
to
know what?
spray myself?
I do that. I romanticize every hookup. So you know, it's not that strange of a thing
Not a
to do.
blowjob in the park, though, do you?
Maybe he was doing
It's
a good
not.
job, okay?
It's not.
he,
Barefoot in
he
the
was sucking that
park.
dick and he was like, "Oh baby, this is marriage material blowjob right here."
Oh my God!
I've been
Wow,
there. I've been there. So, yeah.
I love
Don't stop
it.
romanticizing things.
Okay. Well, our favorite segment, it's come that time of the night. It's produced by Straight Up Gay Porn, and they always ask the question, out of these this week 17 gay porn stars, who took the best not suitable for work photo and why? Last week's winner is a doozy. I loved him. I will post this on Geoscar won it last week.
Yeah, so hot.
And we will post this on our Patreon community. Go to patreon.com/tags podcast, and you can see all of these selection. Who did you pick and why, Cody?
Well, it was such a difficult decision this week because we have Raheem Shabazz there, and I think I changed mine before we actually got on the air because Finn August was my choice at first because he's just gorgeous. But then I went to his ex, and he wasn't taking enough dick for me. He wasn't doing the things I needed to do in order for him to get my vote. So I changed my vote to Con Hor. Who has the fattest ass I've seen in a long. He has a super dump truck. Like, I am so excited to go into
That's a good one.
into his whole porn discography because he's super hot. And he in this thirst trap, he is standing in a bathroom stall, which I might have to take this. And he's got both arms flexed. He's completely naked, and he's showing his cock, which is at half mast. He's looking very delicious. I wish it was an ass shot, but you can't have everything you want, right? He's beautiful. Conhor is my
favorite. I also like his tattoos. He's got good choice tattoos, and they're strategically placed in various areas on his body, and really well done. I like that one. I didn't love the selection this week that much. I felt like it was so white. It was like, wow. I was like, I don't know, but.
And Bojack.
Okay, we got Raheem, but you mentioned
and
him,
Bojack,
but I mean
Bojack.
Okay,
He's
but
so
there's
hot. He's in a
17 pictures here, and I just felt like there wasn't. It was skewing severely white for me, but not the greatest week for me. But if I had to go, I went with the 4 guys because there was a picture of 4 guys. Excuse me. That go by Big Stacked, Big Liam, Eddie Burke, and Hayden Harding. I just want to be a part of this party. They are hanging out. And what I love about this picture is they all look great. They're tatted up. They're posing for the camera. In the background now, I'm wondering where they're at because there's paneling. And if anybody knows anything about paneling was really big in the 70s and 80s. And not so much now. So I'm wondering, are they in Fire Island? Because, some of those old houses are a little dated. But I'm kind of here for the paneling. And they all look great. They're tatted up. I feel like maybe the 2 on the ends, Big Stacked and Hayden Harding, are the 2.
Hayden Harding is so hot. And he's a bottom, too.
So I feel like there's 4. So I would have fun with all of them. But at least the ends, I would have a lot of fun. And yeah, so I'm going with that. And I'm voting now because that's what we're supposed to do on this to keep this going. Go to the bottom, vote. And who did you vote for since we have 2 minutes here?
Conhor. I like a nice whore. So I think I might take his last name and be Cody Whore.
He's towards the bottom, but that's okay.
That's okay. We like a nice bottom around here.
And I'm right above you. Did you have a favorite? He's looking. Diego's looking. Which one? Lucky Devil is Diego's pick. Is that what it's called? Lucky Devil? Did you just make it? Oh, Lucky Devil, the last one. Okay, lucky. Oh, okay, yeah. He's holding his dick, the tip of his dick. I
Oh,
like
he's all
it.
right. He's cute.
Nice.
He's got a nice.
All
I like his
right.
tattoo on his forearm.
You love it. Thanks so much. We want to thank our special guest, Cheryl Maida from matchmaking.com. We'll list all of that on tagspodcast.com and our Patreon page. You can always follow Cody on Blue Sky and Instagram at Mr. Maurice. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve B. And in the meantime, thanks everybody. Thanks live virtual audience. Continue having hot gay
sex.
Thanks, everyone. Love it.